everybody. It is Monday, September 10, 2018. Coffee Chat Facebook Live is back, but I did not come alone. No, I didn't. I am so excited to be back with you guys, talking with you today. I hope you guys had a wonderful Labor Day holiday weekend, that you indulged and just chilled a bit, slept in, caught up on errands, etc. And we are live, we are back, and I am so excited because we are coming big right out of the gates today, you guys. I didn't come alone. I'm so excited to be on location in this beautiful setting in the burbs, and we've got a lot of amazing things to talk about. But before I bring on my guest today, before we talk about pursuing a master's degree, I have a little bit of housekeeping with Coffee Chat that I want to get underway first. So currently, I mentioned in Facebook Live 2 weeks ago that I'm working on a website for Coffee Chat. It is currently still in the works. The debut date should be at the end of October, but I will continue to keep you posted each week on our Facebook and Instagram page of when the release date for our website for Coffee Chat will be. All right? So, like I said, I did not come alone today. I have my very best friend from high school. We've known each other for nearly 10 years, and she is still as radiant and flawless today as she was 10 years ago. I don't know her secret, but she needs to tell me. So today we're talking about pursuing a master's degree, and as you guys have been applying to job applications, you'll see that some applications say that they require a master's degree. Now, the master's is the new bachelor's, sadly. But for those of you who may be getting that itch to apply for a master's degree or just want to know a little bit more about it, today I brought my best friend, Autumn Selover, who is currently entering her second year at Northwestern University's Music Master's Program. And a little bit about Autumn. She has over 19 years of harp teaching and playing experience. She has played the piano for over 17 years. She's currently a teacher at Metzger Studios in the greater Chicagoland area. And she is entering the second and final year of her master's program at Northwestern University next week, getting her master's under the tutelage of Lynn Williams, who is, by the way, the principal harpist of the Lyric Opera in downtown Chicago. So it's near Ogilvy Station, so when you see it, you'll see the big Lyric Opera. That's who she's learning from. She's a rock star. Autumn is a rock star, and I am so excited to have her with me today. She has that Farrah Fawcett hair and amazing personality that will just inspire you to get out of your chair and go make your dreams a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Coffee Chat, Miss Autumn Selover.
Hi.
Hi, Autumn. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you for inviting me into your home. Thank you for being willing to share your story, to tell the Coffee Chat audience about what pursuing a master's degree means to you and the benefits that you've reaped so far and will continue to see. So, with that said, let's get right to it. We got our coffee.
Yes, we do.
Cheers, girl. Get yours. Get your tea, your water, coffee, whatever you drink, protein shake. Buy Pro Protein. Get it? Let's chat, all right? So, first things first. We all know, as viewers today know, that, completing your undergrad degree is a huge accomplishment. Some would want to stop at that, right?
Everybody does, I think. Whether or not you go on.
Right? And so, can you just discuss with us today some of the highlights and some of the most important moments that you had during your undergrad career at Northwestern University?
Yeah, of course. I was so fortunate to go there, and there are just so many different experiences that I had. The biggest thing overall that made an impact to me was being immersed in a community of people like myself. So this was my first time just being surrounded by classical musicians all the time. So that was really interesting to sort of see, my own interests reflected. So I was able to see my own journey and kind of envision what I might become, and like make that a little bit more real. So that played a big piece. But also, like on the flip side of that, I was exposed to lots and lots of different ideas, different ways of life. I met and became close to people that are just from other parts of the world, which was awesome to be able to, learn from them. That was such a gift. And like there were lots of classes that I got to take. My favorite, I think, was a Tolstoy literature class. I absolutely would recommend reading Anna Karenina when you have time, because it is a big book.
Yeah.
But it was really, really cool. And like I got to be, I participated in a contemporary music ensemble my second year, which is funny because I went in going, like thinking, oh my gosh, I don't like this music. I hate this music. It sounds like noise. Like why would I get stuck doing this? And the more I got to understand it, I was challenged a lot more by it, and now that's actually the route that I'm going with my career.
That's amazing. So the diversity and inclusiveness and the like-minded culture and individuals in the classes really helps shape you and open your eyes to a potential route, you know? Because I feel like when we go into undergrad, we're just like going to undergrad, doing what like society wants of us, you know? But just being surrounded in that inclusive environment with like-minded individuals can really open up so many doors and avenues for you. Can just help, you know, shape your mindset and just give you insight as to what's available.
Yeah.
And those of you who are tuning in, please feel free to comment, like, and post your questions below. Autumn and I will be happy to answer them, all right? So, as you said, you know, being in that inclusive environment really helped you, and you were able to be in ensembles and do recitals and perform on and off campus. When did you know that you were going to go after your master's degree? And was this something you had to prepare for class-wise during undergrad?
Sure. For me, I can't really pinpoint an exact moment when I knew that I wanted to go. Being in my environment, you know, I would see, I don't even know, 50 to 70% of my peers going on to a graduate program in performance right out the gate.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you know, if you're lucky to get an audition and get a job, you know, you're going to take that because that's what most people are going for, I think, in a conservatory. And a lot of people aren't wanting to go that route. And some people like me don't know what the heck they want to do other than be in music.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, I don't want to put it in a sense of I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I went and got a master's, because that's not the case, and that's not what you should do.
Not financial smart, you know, you guys don't do that.
But it was sort of a long process of thinking, well, you know, this is an opportunity now that I found this route of new music to like really fine tune these skills and focus more on this area of study. And there were a lot more opportunities to continue networking, to continue studying, and also to continue working. And I'll say a little bit about this later, but the opportunities that you have to work while you're in school, like through a GA-ship or internships, are really, really valuable too.
Absolutely.
So it was definitely over the course of time where I got used to the idea, and then by the time I got to my junior year, I was preparing for auditions.
So in junior year of undergrad, that's when you really started to get the ball rolling, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like materials and you know, programs that you wanted to select. So I've not gotten my master's, but for those, you know, listening today, who did you really reach out to talk about pursuing this route of the master's program? Who were you able to seek counsel to and, you know, voice your concerns and ask your questions? Was there anyone in particular?
Yes, definitely. I have a fantastic student advisor, both now for my graduate degree and also for my undergraduate degree. Both of these women are fabulous, so I definitely recommend starting there.
Right.
Just kind of seeing what other people in the field tend to do is a good place to start. And that's also a really good entry point, is finding current professionals that are successful and that you respect and to some extent want to follow in their footsteps.
Right.
Like that could be a professor that works in the field, that could be, you know, a teacher that you know, it could be somebody that you worked for at an internship, but even alums. So I also am working part-time at the alumni relations department.
Yes, she is.
Yes, so that's a really good experience, and it looks good on a resume too.
Yes.
But yeah,
Campus involvement. Campus involvement.
Yes. The thing that I've been most impressed about with that is how willing alums are to reach out to you, or I mean to reciprocate if you reach out to them. You know, at least for my school, people are very friendly. They're very willing to open up, to talk, to give you just some guidance, and that's really valuable, just hearing from people's experiences.
Right. Because your story and so many people's stories really benefit other people. You share your story, you share your experiences, because you never know what piece of information somebody else can benefit from. You know, that's something that we do here on Coffee Chat. We have Autumn and guests will come later on throughout the course of Coffee Chat, but we're ultimately sharing our stories. We're talking about the things that give us anxiety. We talk about like maybe not knowing what you want to do post-grad. We share it all, and it's important that you were able to find that you know, relatively early on in your campus career, and to be able to just, you know, continue that. It's very vital. Would you say that's vital to your success currently?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just one other thing I do want to say about that is you absolutely have to decide for yourself if you want to get your graduate degree.
Right.
This is something that I've really taken to heart, you know, with any big decision, is you have to really feel it in your gut, and you have to know for yourself. You know, you can listen to advice and you can consider it, and you absolutely should do that. But there's nothing like making that decision and being responsible for your own life, because you will have to live with your choices, and
Right.
you shouldn't want to have to feel like someone else is responsible for them.
Right. Now, like when you get that very expensive piece of paper
Right.
in May or June of your final year of college, you pretty much are given a new blank slate. You have to put your identity together now. You don't have a syllabus, you don't have a professor, you don't have an advisor to tell you what to do. You are now the master of your own life. Not saying that you weren't in control before, but now you are completely on your own. There are no training wheels, there are no, safety nets. You have to really take that initiative yourself. And that's key to success in any area, whether you're pursuing a master's, whether you're starting your own business, etc. That's really key. And so, who can viewers today and later on in the replay reach out to about, potentially pursuing a master's, aside from family members, of course?
So reaching out to people, again, just reiterate, talk to your career advisor. Most schools have a career advancement department.
Yes.
If your student advisor is busy or they're not as specific with their help, so you should be able to make an appointment with your career advisor, talk to them, get guidelines, maybe take an aptitude test if you're still not sure what direction you want to go into exactly. And again, talk to other professionals, and also just know it's okay to take some time off and think about it if that's what you need to do.
Exactly, because this is not a decision that you need to rush into, as you'll see financially, but more importantly, holistically and personally, because this is a huge undertaking, as Autumn has, begun to tell us and has experienced. Like, this is a huge life-altering decision. It's not necessarily something you need to avoid and, think it's completely scary. No, it's extremely important for you guys. So make sure you take the time that you need to make this decision, because this is your journey, your story, your life, your degree, and your path, and you have to carve it yourself in the ways that you see fit. All right? So what has the master's program allowed you to do professionally? Have you been able to network with other people, more exposure in the field? Can you share a little bit more about that?
Definitely. So in a nutshell, the big things that I've gotten out of it are experience, connections, and a better looking resume.
Yeah. Make sure you update that resume, guys, with any new piece of information. Also put action verbs and tweak those verbs just as much so that you stand out. But go ahead.
Yes. So I'll go back to what I said before about the importance of GA work, so graduate assistantships.
Yeah.
I was very fortunate with mine, where I was able to pick, or I had some say in what I wanted to do. So going back to that contemporary music ensemble that I played with a lot in undergraduate, really fell in love with and want to go in that direction.
Right.
I requested to be an assistant with that group. So I've gotten tons of really great experience from that. So I get to do a little bit of librarian work, a little bit, tracking down. One time I had to track down a gong and a banjo for this one show, but I was contacting music schools, found music businesses that I didn't even know existed, made those connections. We work with composers all the time that come in from other countries, from other places in the U.S., so that's really great. And I'm working very closely with two conductors that I respect quite a good deal and would love to continue working with them. So that's been really, really helpful. Let's see, what else have I learned? Scheduling has been huge. You're as many opportunities as you're going to have in undergraduate, like you're going to have your clubs, your friend groups, all of that stuff. I think it's magnified in your master's because you have more tangible professional opportunities.
Right.
And you can't do everything. You can try, but it's not humanly possible to do everything, and you can't do everything well if you try.
Sure. Trial by error.
Yeah.
Right? Trial by error. You gotta try and see, and if it doesn't work, you just dust yourself off and move on.
Absolutely. So I would say it's important to do as much as you can, but only do as much as you can do well.
Right.
That's the big thing.
Right.
So just being really organized, learning that. And I've had really amazing experiences just being involved with the institution, to continue my networking with teachers, and we've had numerous master classes. If you don't know what that is, that's when, so for our harp studio, we'll have another professional come in, and a group of students will perform kind of like a lesson, kind of like a recital. So like a maybe 10 to 20 minute segment, somebody will play and then they'll give feedback, like an open lesson, and that's really, really valuable. Not only the feedback that you're getting from that teacher, but also just getting to know them and getting the chance to perform and have them hear you perform.
Right.
So that's been great. One other cool thing is our orchestra got to go on tour to China over spring breaks. That was
right.
An amazing opportunity. I absolutely loved it. We went to Beijing, Shanghai, and Hong Kong.
Yes, talk about
really
diversity.
Cool. Yeah.
What did you gain from that experience? What was it like for you?
That was, I'm almost embarrassed to say, my first time leaving the country.
Okay. Some of us have never done it, so it's okay.
It was so valuable to me as a person just to be in another place and get to interact on a level, like as a foreigner in another country, and to kind of get to experience that a little bit, and just sort of see how kind other people were to me as an outsider, and also just to see like the really rich culture and diversity in another country was amazing.
Has that impacted your performances going forward? Your style, technique, or perspective?
Yeah, I don't know, like that tour in particular might play a small part in how that's affecting, my performances. But definitely all of the experiences total that I've had at Northwestern have informed performances going forward, and I always want to be like inclusive and conscious of the music that I pick. There's a really big debate going on in classical music right now of like, are we going to keep playing the same composers over and over again, or are we going to like create a space to give voice to like people of color and women composers and people that are underrepresented.
Right.
So just being more conscious of that and like incorporating that into your artistry, and also just like considering where you're going to play. Like, are you only going to play downtown on Michigan Avenue, like knock on when you get that chance? Or are you going to bring this really awesome music, to places where people might not have the opportunity to appreciate that?
Right.
So yeah, just like having a really, I think, holistic view of your art form, and not just like, not keeping it in the past, like keeping it alive and keeping it fed by the many, many stories of people that are alive. And to get back, my master's experiences have been incredibly helpful for me as a person to do that.
Right. And so, given all that you've been through in academia and the upcoming semester and school year, who have you been able to talk to about your experiences with class, on and off campus? Like, do you guys in your friend group acknowledge that this is really difficult? Like, you're just overwhelmed? Because I know when I was an undergrad, nobody wanted to talk about this. Everyone just wanted to sweep it under the rug and think they have it all together. But who have you been able to share your experiences with? Not just about a test you took, but just overall, who have you been able to talk to?
That is such a great question, and I'm glad that you're asking that.
Yeah.
One of the most crucial parts of my education has been my support network, whether that be friends, close family, again, advisors, even counselors. If you want to seek counseling, that's really helpful given all of the stressors that students are dealing with. That has been immensely helpful. So my harp studio consists of 4 people, including myself, and one of the things that bonded us together was, not to get too negative, but just talking about, our stressors and making jokes about it and really bonding over that. But that was so helpful. I would really advise people, find a support network.
Right.
Don't be like, you're not there alone. Like, there are always people with you. There's always somebody there willing to help. I know it kind of sucks asking for help sometimes, but if you think you don't deserve it, don't let that be the thing that stops you from asking somebody to help you out or give you guidance. Like, if you ask somebody and you already know the answer, that's fine. And like, if you are okay, that's fine. But maybe you don't, and maybe you did need help, and it's better to ask than to not ask,
Right.
But really try to surround yourself and be as open. There's definitely at Northwestern, there's a culture of one-upping each other about like, I am in like a million different clubs and I get like 2 hours of sleep every night, which is just not healthy to begin with. But it definitely feels a little competitive, especially at the undergraduate level, to like see how busy you can be and see how many things you can like do, which is not a healthy balance.
Right.
Because again, it has to come back to doing what you can and doing it well. And if you're stretching yourself too thin, you can't do anything really well. And
Right.
I've learned that the hard way, so I'm definitely speaking from experience there.
Yeah.
But it's really important to just be open with other people about, you know, your failures, because nobody is perfect.
That's
and
right.
maybe they've gone through this already and they know a way to get through it
Exactly.
easier than you figuring it out yourself.
Right. You know, it goes back to really just finding your voice and, you know, adding to your story, recognizing who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, and finding that courage to be able to ask for help, to reach out, because like Autumn has said, no one person can do everything on his or her own, you know, to perfection. I think imperfection is the best way to live your life, because you're showing your flaws, you're showing, you know, who you really are. You know, you're taking the filter off and you're giving an insight as to the nature of the human condition, the true nature of the human condition, right? And so given that, and it's really a good build up, what has the master's program taught you about being an adult? Because I know some viewers have had to be an adult much earlier on in their life, but what is this master's program really showcased for you about adulthood and all the components of it?
Several things. The first thing I want to address, and it's kind of, I think, become like a popular trope at this point, but there's never really a point when you feel like an adult.
Okay.
You know, you're never gonna suddenly be successful and then suddenly everything's gonna work out and you're gonna know how to handle everything. That just doesn't happen. I think being an adult is realizing that.
Yes.
And that's as, you know, as hard a line as you're ever gonna get. That said, you know, being willing to deal with situations, you know, putting yourself out there, learning, just taking care of problems when they come up and just getting things done, I think is kind of the mark of adulthood, is just greater responsibility in dealing with it. And also just, again, knowing when to ask for help and learning how to do something.
Right.
But yeah, another thing that I've learned from the program is that it's okay to change course. You know, you go for what you think you're meant to be doing, and you do it as well as you can.
Yeah.
But it's okay to change your direction, and if you do end up doing that, that doesn't invalidate the work that you've already done. I had a master class one time, and the harpist gave a really interesting answer of saying that it's okay if you don't end up sticking with music. You know, hearing that from a professional was very striking to me, because a lot of people are saying, you know, you have to go into an orchestra and you have to win these auditions to be successful. And just her saying that it's okay to not do that meant a lot. And it meant that you're not doing it for the job or for the money or for the fame or whatever. You're doing it, you know, in that moment to make a difference, and to like help other people. And, you know, if you do end up doing something else, that doesn't make what you did before worthless.
Right.
And I think that's true of any field. Like, there's always a balance between, you know, loving your work and being financially responsible. Like, those two don't always go hand in hand, and a lot of people are more fortunate than others, and I recognize that.
Yeah.
But just being willing to change yourself and to put yourself out there and try different things is super important. And I've heard this many times in practice interviewers and talking to my career advisor. Like, if you're pursuing an arts degree and you decide you want to go into business or something that might be a little more lucrative, it's okay that you have an arts background. In fact, that's a good thing, because it shows that you're a creative thinker.
Right.
And it shows that you're adaptable, you know, that you can learn quickly, that you're disciplined, all of these traits that you want to show. And you can learn things on the job. Like, you're never going to stop learning, and you should never want to stop learning.
Exactly.
That's the big thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. A couple other things, like practical things, is, again, balancing your time has been huge. Like,
yeah. How's that been? How have you been able to manage your time, or find a system that's, you know, been able to help keep you on the up and up, whether that's, you know, 50% or 100%? What have you been able to use to help you stay on course?
I make a lot of lists.
Okay. That's why we're besties, because we make lists. We got lists all over
every
the
day,
place.
every day.
Lists.
Otherwise, I'll just sit there and think about all of these things that I have to do and be so overwhelmed that I don't do anything, and that just is a spiral, and it's not good.
No.
So lots of lists, lots of prioritizing. I've found it's really helpful with emails. Like, I'm really bad at emailing. I'm bad at texting back in general.
No, you're not.
agreeing
No,
with
I'm
me.
not. I swear to God, no, I'm not. I suck at answering
am.
my phone. I leave it elsewhere, but no, you're not.
But the thing I've found professionally, it's better, like, if you get an important email and just to say, hey, I can't fully respond to this right now, but I heard your email and I will get back to you. Like, even something as short and sweet as that, or like, yes, I'm interested in taking this gig. Let me double check my schedule and I'll get back to you.
Right.
Just like something to respond, so you're not waiting like 3 days, God forbid, a week to get back to a person and they've already moved on to somebody else.
Right.
So I definitely have perfectionist tendencies, and I'm that person that will spend like an hour proofreading an email, which means it doesn't get sent because other things come up. So it's really just better to like write 2 sentences and send it and have it be done with than to like painstakingly try to come up with an absolutely perfect response. I've seen this a lot in people that are successful. It's like finding this balance between tenacity and like thinking you're right and kind of bullnose going into something and maybe not being as thoughtful, and being overly thoughtful to the point where you don't do anything. You know, you have to find that balance between, you know, I've really done some research and I think I'm doing the right thing, and you know, you think you pray, you do all of these things to think you're doing the right thing. Right. But after a point, you just have to do it. You have to take the risk and you have to do it.
Yeah. You gotta bite the bullet and start your climb. Like, you can't let the societal constructs really hold you back. Like I wrote yesterday, and you'll see later on in our Facebook page, where you can't give yourself a reason to not succeed.
Yeah,
right?
I like that.
Yeah. Thank you. So never give yourself a reason to not succeed, okay? Because you all are capable. You obtain a master's, or you obtain some sort of degree and have accrued experiences that have just shaped you into the person you are. If you were able to complete those things, whether you were at 100% capacity or not, you completed them. And therefore, you will have the strength and the insight and the knowledge to be able to take these next steps, to take that risk, okay? Don't ever think that you aren't important or you're not worth the time or the effort. You are worth every single moment. Your story, the knowledge and the experiences that you have will definitely benefit at least one person, if not an entire community. Make your voice heard. So do any of you have any questions for Autumn? We are willing. She is here. Any questions? Let us know. And if you don't have any questions right now, you can definitely leave them in the comments below. I will include Autumn's contact information, email in the comments below, where you can reach her about any of the information that she shared with you guys today. All right? If you are interested in pursuing a master's, or if you're interested in pursuing the musical route like Autumn, please feel free to contact her at the email and at the other websites that I will be posting below with her permission, of course. All right. If you guys have any questions right now, fire them away. We're here. If not, that's all right. I know questions happen later on. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Autumn, for joining me today. And oh, besties. 10 years, man.
And you're making me feel old.
No, I just turned 24. I looked in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so old. I need Botox. I literally asked my dermatologist, I was like, Dr. Kiris, can I have some Botox? He just looked at me.
Good doctor.
Alright, that is something you do not lightly enter into. Botox and master's degrees.
Yeah.
Don't enter into that lightly.
That should be the tagline for this video.
Boom! Alright, I know Autumn has to get off to a meeting, so I will let you go. Thank you so much, Autumn, for joining us today.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you, guys. And so I am going to give you a little bit of an update for Coffee Chat. Thank you to Autumn. So make sure that when you're pursuing a master's, you want to pursue it with the right intentions. Seek out family and friends, your campus advisor, peruse the Career Advancement Center at your college, and just, jot down things that, that you're feeling, journal, and just remember that your story and your information and your desire to learn and to make a difference in the world within your area, with your area of study, is important and key. So with that said, tune in next week, next Monday, live at 1:30 p.m. new time, as we discuss Pursuing a Master's Part 2 with my other bestie from college, Alexa Parmalee. We are going to be taking over downtown Chicago. We have been known to take over places and change the way that the game has been played. Join us next week at 1:30 p.m. on the Coffee Chat Facebook page for our Facebook Live to talk about Pursuing a Master's Part 2. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Kick butt, make it productive. You are strong, you are powerful, you are beautiful and worthy. You can do this. I believe in you. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.